So students, we have already studied about agro-based industries, the industries which get their raw material from agriculture. Now we would be coming to the next type of industries that we have in India. They are mineral-based industries. Now, mineral-based industries, as the name suggests, all those industries which get their raw material from minerals or metals, they are known as mineral-based industries. They are based on mining. They get their raw material from mining or from minerals and metals. Okay, so iron and steel industry is an important mineral based industry of our country. It is not only mineral based industry, but it is also basic industry, and it is also heavy industry. Why it is basic industry? Because its raw material is used, its final product is used as a raw material by other industries. In iron and steel industry, we manufacture iron and steel. Now this steel will be used as a raw material for various other industries. So it is a basic industry. And at the same time, it is also heavy industry, because here the raw material is heavy and the final product that we are making is also heavy. Then the production and consumption of steel is often regarded as the index of country's development. So the total amount of steel produced in the country and consumed in the country will give us a picture of the country's development, because there are many products which we use in our daily life, they are made up of steel. So therefore we have to manufacture more and more steel, and how much we are producing steel and how much we are consuming, it will tell us about the country's development. For making steel, we require certain raw material in a fixed ratio, as you can see on the screen. In order to make steel, we require iron ore, coking coal, and limestone. But we have to mix them in a proper ratio, that is 4:2:1. And at the same time, some quantity of manganese is also added to it. So this is how steel is made. The raw material are iron ore, coking coal, and limestone, and also some amount of manganese. So as we have studied that iron and steel industry, iron and steel, both of them are very heavy material. So we need very good means of transport system for taking them. We need good transport network for distributing them to the various markets or distributing them to the consumers. So India, it is the second largest producer of crude steel, and it is the largest producer of sponge iron. We are the second largest producer of crude steel and largest producer of sponge iron. But the per capita consumption of steel in our country, that is steel consumed by one person, the per capita consumption of steel in our country is very low. We would study why it is low later on when we would study about the challenges. Okay. Then there are two types of steel industries. We have mini steel plants and we have aggregated steel plants. Now these are the two types of steel plants that we have. Mini steel plants. What are mini steel plants? Mini steel plants are all those plants where we use electric furnace, and we specially use the steel scrap. Steel scrap is the discarded steel to produce steel. So we use discarded steel to make steel, and we also use sponge iron. Then after that we have re-rollers. These re-rollers are used to give different shapes to the steel flow shield that we produce.
यशराज भाई प्लीज म्यूट कर ले.
So these mini steel plants, they have electric furnace where we use discarded steel or sponge iron to produce steel. At the same time, we have rollers. These rollers are used to give different shapes to the pure steel that we produce. Isko bolte hain steel ingots. So steel ingots, we use re-rollers to give different shapes to the steel ingots. And we mainly produce mild and alloy steel. Mild steel, where the carbon content is less, where the percentage of carbon is less. So in these plants, we produce mild and alloy steel. After that, we have integrated steel plants. We have integrated steel plants. So integrated steel plants, these are the plants where we produce steel on large scale, and everything is done in one complex, from putting together raw material to steel making, rolling and shaping. The making and giving different shape to the steel that we produce, it is all done in one complex. Whereas in mini steel plant, we have the making of the steel is done in furnace, then we have rollers to give different shape to it. So these two things are done separately. But in integrated steel plants, here everything is done in one complex. I hope it is clear to all of you. Krishna, you can stop.